Welcome, dear TESPAM followers. Hello to everyone. We are together again, a new TESPAM organization, the second International Black Sea Energy Forum and International Black Sea Energy Summit. Our topic of summit is power interconnections and international corporations. We have two very able speakers. I would like to introduce them. Mr. Michelangelo Selozzi is Transmed Engineering Network, and Mr. Peter Cameron is from Energy Markets Global, and I think he will join us soon. And I would like to start with Mr. Selozzi. Mr. Selozzi, welcome. Can you hear us?
I am ready.
Okay. Yes.
Is it?
Yes, I would like to give speech firstly.
Okay. Thank you. I have a short communication in this period because there are not a lot of good news in this period for interconnection and power exchange infrastructures. Of course, thank you very much for your invitation because it's a very good occasion for share some ideas in this period. The Mediterranean risk map atlas is terrible. You can see in old crisis areas with different color. This is the profile of risk of an international operator in the sector of the risk management. You can see the color of the map from green to strong red, in which the risk is extreme, like Mali, Libya, Syria, also Palestine in this moment, Iraq, Sudan, Ukraine. The problem is a circle, a ring of risk in all the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea is the bridge between all the Euro-Mediterranean countries, and Turkey is the eastern hub of a strategic corridor exchange between Middle East and Europe, and Italy is the central hub for energy exchange between North Africa and Central Europe. Of course, there are the east-west connection, like the gas pipeline coming from Turkey to Italy, arriving in Italy with the Adriatic pipeline. Then, anyway, our task today is to build the condition for the post-war period. We are not military, of course. Then we have the role for preparing the post-war period. Despite the dark times, it is essential to look for glimmer of hope and use them with determination to illuminate paths of peace and development. The next slide, please. I cannot control the slide. If you can help me to the next. Voila, thank you.
Okay.
The only, we are sure nobody saved himself alone. There is no country able to change the situation alone. It is not a problem of power, military power, or economic power. It is a problem of context. If there is not a context for investment, there is no future for the Mediterranean. Then we have to try in this period of war. We have to try to looking for a roadmap toward peace. What that means for us? This is as what the classical SWOT analysis between strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But we have to be aware of the risk of this condition and then to build the integration. The integration is the approach for system development, enabling the sharing of resources, energy resources, raw materials, and money. These are the resources necessary for the system development. And the first challenge is the governance of interdependence, mutual security as trade-off between mutual obligation. This is the only guarantee for stability during the long time period of infrastructures investment. The next slide, please. Thank you. Then new resources and infrastructures have to become a part of the solution, not part of the problem. This is not a slogan. Without security, there are no investments, and without investment, there is no development. The role of energy is in geopolitical stability has been greatly impacted by risks in the Mediterranean. Stability and development can be achieved through shared investment strategies for opening the exchange corridor. We need compliant investment strategies. We can see, we can imagine for pipelines and electricity interconnection. Of course, if there is no coordination between investment strategies, there is no opening of a new corridor exchange. Then these investment strategies have to be based on the common concrete interests, not through weapons. Energy cannot become a weapon. If these if there is in absence of this condition, there is no investment in infrastructure. Then the common interest become a political capital to invest in common security. Investment in energy structure are long-term cross-border investments, reflecting common interests of security and development. The true challenge is the ability, and in particular the will, to govern opportunities and processes before new resources and infrastructure become part of the problem rather than its solution. This is the main risk in this moment. Infrastructure and strategic exchange corridors are the basis, the foundation of international cooperation, requiring formal agreements between states, the coordination of investment strategies means agreements between states to overcome territorial barriers. In the Mediterranean, the classical example are the areas of exclusive economic interest. This is an obstacle to safeguard international investments. International investments doesn't know exclusive economic interest, but shared economic interests. This is the solution, difficult to gain, but essential to arrive to relevant results in international infrastructure that are the basis of development. The last slide, please. Oh, the next slide, please. Yeah. Then, to promote peace and common development, it is crucial in this moment exchange and share ideas for cooperation during these times. Waiting for the end of the crisis in the Mediterranean, we have to use this time to build a grade of people that are able to exchange and share new ideas and proposal for new investment in infrastructure. Our meetings today are a reflection of that. That's because I am grateful to TESPAM for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salozzi, for your nice presentation. That was very interesting. And Mr. Cameron has joined us. Welcome, Mr. Cameron.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And now I would like to give the speech to you, please. We are waiting for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm Peter Cameron. Let's see if this works. Good. Right, I'm Peter Cameron from Energy Markets Global. Thank you very much for inviting me to talk here. Everybody probably didn't see there were a few issues getting online just now. I'm in Turkey. Sorry, I'm not in Turkey. I'm in Egypt, and there we had some problems with the internet, but glad to say I'm on. Good. So the how do I move this on? I'll go into my presentation. So can you all see the next slide?
Yes, we can see.
That's a bit about us. All right, so let's see. I'm going to talk something about talk about Turkey as a gas hub and the interconnections there and what this means and how it can be achieved. So it was President Putin of Russia who said that Turkey can be the gas hub. Clearly, I see nothing wrong with that. I mean, Turkey definitely can become a gas hub, but let's try and drill down into that and see exactly what it means. So the first thing is that Russia's not everybody's favorite country at the moment, and Turkey does share one similar problem to Ukraine. Not a political problem, of course, but there is an issue that with that Ukraine is still and has been reliant on a single monopoly dominant gas supplier in the form of Russia. These are the blue, or the main pipeline gas projects coming into Europe. All of these, and you can see many from Russia, Brotherhood and Soyuz pipeline, all passing, and Blue Stream, all passing through Ukraine. And there have been moves in recent years to diversify Ukrainian gas supply, and it is getting increasingly more gas reverse flow from Norway and through Germany and Poland and points west. But still, the vast majority of Ukrainian gas comes from Russia. And I think it's interesting that Yamal has been stopped, and Nord Stream has been blown up or not commissioned, but the gas still flowing to Western Europe is that passing through Ukraine on the Brotherhood pipeline. It's been difficult for Ukraine to institute a competitive gas market when you have a single dominant gas supplier. So thinking about this economically, you're trying to bring in many suppliers and considerable competition downstream in your markets, but all the gas at your border comes from a single monopoly supplier. So this is a problem that Ukraine has had, continues to have, and Russia has this problem as well, and it's quite different. But we know of the many different streams. It talks about here. There's Blue Stream, South Stream. White Stream is not on this map here, but that was a friend of mine was trying to develop a project for Caspian Sea gas through Georgia, through a pipeline through the Black Sea to either to Turkey or right across to Romania. That's White Stream. It never took off, so you can't see that on this map. But Blue Stream, Turk Stream, South Stream, all of these different methods for getting either Central Asian or Russian gas through to Turkey and through Turkey to Europe. So the problem for Turkey has been, how can you have a competitive gas market downstream when you have these monopoly supply upstream? And certainly Turkey has been doing magnificent efforts to try to deal with this problem and resolve it, but holding auctions at the entry point to into Turkey and various methods. They are all the best that can be done, but they don't really solve the fundamental problem of a monopoly, single dominant monopoly supplier neighboring your country. However, I wanted to go against what I've just said and say that actually Turkey's in a much happier position than Ukraine, that remains very reliant on Russian gas. You can see here that we can see the red lines, that Blue Stream, Russian gas west, Turk Stream. This is Russian gas, either through the Black Sea or through Southeast Asia. But there are plenty of other opportunities. Caspian Sea gas, we do not yet see that. That's a dotted line through the Caspian Sea. We do not yet have a pipeline through the Caspian Sea. There has been talk about LNG, and certainly my company, we've been talking with some of the producers in the Turkmen side of that about the possibilities of making liquefied natural gas and taking that across the Caspian Sea. So the Central Asia opportunities for Turkey as well as Russia. And if we go a bit further down, the opportunities from Iran. Now, many, many years ago, I'm thinking probably 10, 20 years ago, my company, we did some modeling of what the gas market in Europe would look like in 20 years' time. So 2020 or 2025. And we thought then that politics would be largely resolved and that there would be Iranian gas flowing into Europe. Iran would be the marginal gas supplier, which economic theory tells you if you're the marginal supplier, you're the one that sets the price. So the price setting point for European gas, we thought 20 years ago, would actually be set by Iran. And of course, all of that gas would be transiting through Turkey. Now, there's politics. You're not getting a lot of Iranian gas into Europe, if any, but the possibility is still there. There are good reserves in Iran, and one day, we don't know when, but one day the politics will be resolved, and a lot of Iranian gas will be freed up. Going further south, the Arab gas pipeline is not operating now. Again, there's political issues, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, the Syria in particular, that's stopping developments there. But again, there's other opportunities. So Turkey has options for pipeline gas. The other thing I wanted to bring up is LNG in the West. And also we talk about the Turkey, Greece, Italy pipeline. So that would be taking gas from Russia, Iran, Middle East through Turkey onto Western Europe, Northwest Europe, through former Yugoslavian countries, but Bosnia-Herzegovina, and also through Greece, Turkey, Greece, Italy pipeline. So there are these options there that Turkey can become a strong transit state. And of course, he built TANAP in the expectation of that gas flow. Also, there's LNG. Now, this is developing, and there are lots of opportunities for LNG. I've spoken about this a year ago, and I've spoken a lot on the opportunities for the new technology developments in LNG. I think there's a very bright future. I talked to you before about the opportunities for offshore LNG development in the East Mediterranean, southeast of Cyprus, where there are considerable gas resources. Instead of piping them to shore, just have an LNG plant directly. So lots of opportunities for LNG into Turkey. So, but I said I was going to say something about a hub. How can Turkey become a hub, a gas hub? So for any active trading market, a hub basically is the point where many buyers and many sellers meet together, and they start trading, and that becomes the balancing point and the price setting point. Henry Hub in the United States, Title Transfer Facility (TTF) in the Netherlands, and National Balancing Point (NBP) in the UK. Those are probably the three main hubs around the world. So how did those become hubs, and how could Turkey become a hub? So any active trading market or any trading venue, if you think of local street markets, they're big markets, what makes people go to a market? Well, there are three things. There are many things you need, but two fundamental things is you need many buyers and many sellers. So you had many people to create that market. And then the third thing, something. That's something that wants those buyers and sellers to come to one particular place. Customer pressure could push for something to be done. There could be some industry crisis or some change in the market. LNG, for example, United States has really taken off as an LNG business, and that has and the new technology has been a fundamental part of that. So I think there are enough things going on to drive change, and that could lead Turkey to take up these opportunities. So what are the three factors? Many buyers, many customers, many buyers, many sellers, and some industry crisis. So what happens when that happens? There are three things that drive a hub to develop. So I mentioned some crisis. Now, crisis sounds terrible existential thing, but it could be some market change, new technology, or a major new market entrant. As I said, I think there are enough things around to drive a move to a new way of doing gas business in Turkey and across Europe. So one is that something that drives change. The government has a role in creating the environment. So Turkey has announced it wants to be a gas hub, and it's formed the TANAP, and is busy putting in place the regulatory and the financial incentives for hub trading to start developing. But that is all that can be done. Governments can create an environment, but markets develop by themselves. Whether traders, buyers and sellers come together at the point the government hopes for is completely up to the market. Nothing the government can do about this. So those are the three things that drive fundamental change. So drivers for change, many things. Technology. This point here is looking at LNG. So, for example, marine liquefaction, mobile liquefaction on the back of a lorry, so you can do liquefaction deep inland, and then take your LNG away on tankers, lorry tankers. LNG distribution by lorry, and floating storage and regasification. This has opened the LNG world up, because you can put in liquefaction and regasification for a fraction of the cost of what it was before. So countries all over the world can get involved in this. So these are new technology developments that have driven change in the LNG business. And I think most technology change is likely to be coming from LNG. Pipeline technology fundamentally has not really changed in 100 years. The pipeline technology is fairly mature if we take a broader view at it, but LNG is still doing things. So I think that's where the future is likely to lie. I've been told I should always talk about climate change, so there it is: climate change driving change. Regulation, commercial practices, as the gas world is opening up, so we are seeing new commercial practices, in particular American. You might see not much US gas reach into Turkey, but all the new players are driven in the LNG business are driven by the American opening up. You've got that staid old industry of 15 years ago has now come in to have project developers, aggregators, FSRU companies, buyers and sellers, and all sorts of different activities going on, which has driven new ways of doing business, more active trading markets. So these are the things that are driving change, and I think there are enough drivers for change among all of this to say that there's opportunity for Turkey to develop as a gas hub. So looking back at this map again, I'm just winding up now. We see many opportunities, although Turkey is reliant on Russian gas, which can be a problem because it's difficult to bring in a competitive market when you have a single monopoly supplier. However, Turkey has plenty of options, and there are plenty of opportunities. No reason why Turkey could not become a gas hub for Europe. Whether it should be point-to-point, a physical place, or a virtual hub, that's another discussion. And the government is doing the things to put this in place. Now, whether it actually happens or not, as I said, that is purely up to buyers and sellers, whether they want to take advantage of these opportunities. That's it. Thank you very much. I've finished my my brief presentation.
Okay, I think Lutfi Bey has been frozen from connection. Okay, thank you very much for your participation. As closing panel of the Black Sea form of this TESPAM, I thank you very much for your participation. Maybe as a conclusion, we can add some your comments depending on the latest situation on the region, both Ukrainian or the Israeli, because the Israeli gas will be bring to the European via Turkey. And on the other hand, we are talking about the energy as a peacemaker in our last Congress. So using the energy sources as a communication tool for different countries and different policies. So could you give us some closing remarks of yours, both for the panel and both for the Congress? Yes, Mr. Chelosi, it starts from you. You are unmute. You unmute your microphone.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I think in this period we should try to define new projects in different kind of projects, interconnections, electricity interconnection, and power generation, because all the constraints to the free developmental market, like barriers, like I said, economic exclusive zones, all restrictions to the market development is a barrier to development. We have to integrate the systems, realize pilot project for power generation, and develop on the base of the progress of the new power mix made by renewable energy sources and gas pipeline, because gas is a partner of renewable energy sources to regulate the governance of intermittences of renewable energy sources. That these two groups of investment have to be informed. Investors have to be informed about by monitoring new investments program on the market in order to support the new operator to come into the market, because the market is changing, the structure of the market is changing, the time horizon are changing, and then we are speaking about 2030 and 2040. But to realize a line, it takes 10 years only to realize a gas pipeline or electricity line in an interconnection. It takes 10 years. Then we have to be aware about the time constraint, stability constraint, and try to liberalize and to promote new projects, because there are no new projects on the table.
Okay, thank you for your nice presentation. I'm sorry for my connection problems. Our time is almost running out, but maybe I can ask a question, both of us. Despite all these political difficulties, is the Black Sea still important due to its geopolitical, geostrategical position, or should there be different energy pathways or connections in the near future? And so, are there new corporations and investment opportunities in this context? I mean, will the Black Sea always be indispensable? I want to ask you.
Let me. Murad's asked me a question as well. Let me try and answer both of them. First one about the East Mediterranean and Israel. I mean, Israel did ask was it the Dolphin gas field to be closed when the Hamas war first started. But I understand they've told Chevron they can start up again. So I think those immediate political war issues are not likely to affect developments in the long term. The opportunities, or whether you're developing gas or pipeline to the nearest country, or the Transmed pipeline for East Mediterranean gas to Italy. I've always thought that was a bit ambitious, that one, but I know last year, a chap from ENI was very enthusiastic about that pipeline. I think that situation long term has not been affected by the current political situation. The other side, the Black Sea, not really affected either, but there's more likely to be change because Russia is now the bad guy. Europe is desperate to diversify gas imports away from Russia. It was something like 60% or more reliance on Russian pipeline gas before the Ukraine war started, and it's now trying to reduce that completely. We're doing some work in Yemen, for example. The European Union would love to would love that LNG project to start up again. So, and there's a delegation in Nigeria right now seeing what can be done to improve Nigerian exports. So the European Union is very keen to diversify its gas supplies. What this means for the Black Sea is that the Turk Stream, obviously it's going ahead. I imagine Turkey will be still importing Russian gas, but Europe will be very keen to diversify. And I think the Caspian Sea routes going into the Caucasus and then the Black Sea, Turkey, I think they will see more of an impetus. Turkmenistan, we shall see what happens with that. There are financing issues, and it takes a long time to get anything through Turkmenistan. Kazakhstan, I think there might be more opportunities. There are lots of gas resources up in the north, Caspian Sea, at Iran, for example, in Kazakhstan. And but certainly there is talk going on about LNG across the Caspian Sea. My guess is that's more likely to happen first, and in due course a pipeline across the Caspian Sea. So I think we're likely to see continuing gas flows through the Black Sea, but more emphasis on diversifying to Central Asia.
Thank you very much for your valuable comments. And I think there isn't any question in the comment side. Thank you very much. Yes.
I have a question. Is the big question. Do you think the gas consumption will grow or will fall in next 20 years? 20 years, because it takes a lot of time to realize a gas interconnection or electrical interconnection. Then the time horizon is 20 years. What will happen to gas consumption in the Mediterranean? We are realizing about 100 gigawatts of new power plants from renewable energy sources, which will be the impact on the gas market. That's the I think, is the main question, but we have to find uh, an answer to this question.
Can I have a crack at that answer? I think, Mr. Solosi, that's a very interesting point you raise. The fundamental issue is that it's all these exports and transits is gas to Europe. But slowly, over the long term, European gas demand is slowly declining. Europe is going through the energy transition, and European industry is becoming more efficient. You can have growth with less gas fuel inputs. The big hiatus at the moment is replacing one source of gas with others. But once that displacement has happened, you won't see new gas growth in Europe. So I mean, there are all of the analysts, and I would agree, see a very bright market for natural gas and LNG in particular. But this growth is not from developed countries, not from Western Europe, not from America, not from Japan. It's the growth comes from developing emerging countries and countries in the region, Middle East countries as consumers, not just as exporters of gas.
I should add something controversial. In our studies of test pump projections that we will publish next week, we found that these electrical vehicles will consume too much electricity, and European side will replace it with the oil. So the oil consumption of the European Union will be dropping, and the power sector will be increasing. When we look at the picture, the power generation will be based on the renewables, but something is very important for the grid corrections as a base load. European is deciding to replace it with batteries for the base load to prevent the grid from blackouts. But the cost of the batteries to prevent blackouts is double expensive than the natural gas power generation. So the natural gas power generation is becoming a protection guardian of the grid. Mm-hmm. So the grid will always consume natural gas as well. So it is, in my opinion, yes, the industry will consume less, but because of the transportation sector, I think this reduction in the total gas consumption will not be as much as the European Commission expected. Mm-hmm. So somehow they are displacing the sources of the natural gas, but it will not enough to power the European transportation with renewables by itself, only by renewables. Mm-hmm. So our projections demonstrated us that one side there is the call to reduce in the European Union because of the carbon emission factor. On the other hand, there is the natural gas, which is cheaper and cleaner than the coal, and easy to supply the grid and grow the renewable capacity. So I don't think that European power sector will avoid from consuming natural gas in the future. So our projections demonstrate us somehow it will reduce, but on the other hand, together with the transportation, it will rise again. So the consumption of the natural gas will never slow down. It will always be in the increasing trend. But in European policies, they will reduce from some consumption areas of industry. So it will be balanced, and our expectations and other projections, expectations demonstrate us the natural gas demand will not be drastically slow down in the future, in the near future, at least to 2050s. If there is no any technological updates of hydrogen or other things happen.
Yes, I agree. Even the projections for declining European gas demand are very slow over a very long time. Yeah, it's just a little slight.
Yeah, in our previous session, we demonstrated that all the measures to be taken has been taken by the European Commission during the Ukrainian war, and they come to a point that 17.7% natural gas reduction has happened in the European Union, despite everything that they had done already. So this 17.7% reduction in the gas demand will be going more, maybe 18%, 19, 20%, but it will not go down drastically.
Yes, and together with that, lots of demand growth in non-mature countries.
Yep. On the other hand, maybe the European Commission will pay more for the batteries, but on one hand, but the battery prices are about $100 per kilowatt hour. This, if they use the supportive finance to that batteries, then the battery prices of the world will increase, and so we will see that the materials to be used in the batteries will be problematic for the raw material side, for the mining side.
Yes.
So the market will make the balance, I think, because of the high price costs something.
Yes.
Thank you for your contributions. Now our time is over, and I would like to thank all of you for your nice presentation and contributions. I would like to close the program. Thank you, dear TESPAN followers. See you next time.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you later soon. Bye.